Welcome everybody, thanks for another IGC Presents Star Wars Edge of the Empire. This is Session 7, Korriban. Start with a little bit of a recap from the last adventure. Our party found themselves in an ancient derelict ship beneath a cave in Dagobah. They were ransacked by not only stormtroopers, but a Sith Lord himself. They did the best that they could to prepare for battle, but it was against overwhelming odds, to which the party decided to use their thermal detonator and swing the battle in their tide, forcing the stormtroopers to retreat as well as injuring the Sith Lord. They continued on their journey deep inside, looking for the vessel that contained one of the wills of the Force. They found themselves in kind of an odd, almost like a biosphere gone awry. Flora and fauna were kind of growing rampant in the area where they encountered the Sith. He used every bit of his effort to overwhelm the party, Phi taking it upon himself to make a dark deal with one of the sorcerers of Rhand. She appeared, cleared the area of danger, if not presenting a greater danger of her own. The party was left shaken, but still alive. They picked up any remnants of stormtrooper armor and made their way outside the cave. This is where we are going to pick up with our party. You have the floor.
So we got the other ship already, right?
Which ship in particular?
We have found ours, and we found the Sith Imperial ship.
I'm trying to remember if you guys discovered it. I think you did not.
Pretty sure we did.
Did we? My memory is a little fuzzy. Yes, you guys did find it, and it was not sunk into the swamp. Very good. Well, let's take this moment to also roll our force pool and do our obligation. Remember, you guys have additional. I will add it to the pool.
I'm really having a fucking blank here. What do I roll for this?
Force die. White one.
Bless you.
All right, 3 to 2. Looking pretty good for you guys. I think we've got 10, 10, 10, 15, 10. There we go.
Yeah, not gonna lie, for some reason I was clicking on the force token trying to get it to roll.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I'm like, this isn't right, but I don't know like what I'm supposed to be doing.
Nope, you guys got it right. It does not look like obligation is going to come into play this time, although you guys are getting pretty high on the chart. All right, and out of character, we had done some character maintenance, credit maintenance, so to speak. I think maybe we should take the first part here. Everybody pretty much decided that you guys are going to go on the last leg there to Korriban. What's your guys' plan? Let's talk it out.
Now
Oh, go ahead.
now that we have an Imperial ship and Imperial codes on the ship, I think if we can restock, get supplied, get as much heavy ordnance as we can cram in there and make our way to Korriban, it's the best shot we'll have of ever getting close to landing there.
Okay, that's one idea.
It's definitely better than just trying to sneak onto the planet with the Phoenix.
Unfortunately, it is kind of time sensitive, though, because we don't know. I mean, the longer that ship's gone, the more suspicious it is.
That's true as well. Do we know what kind of ship it is?
To make things simple, it's going to be a very old, what are they called? Delta class Tiderian shuttle. Let me find a picture. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, or at least most.
I don't drive.
Right? As long as it's not a Corvette.
Right.
If there are no objections, though, I think we shouldn't overstay in this hostile swamp.
Well, I'm still worried about bringing a Jedi from the light side into the heart of the Empire. There's a lot of Force-sensitive people out there. They can easily sense our motives.
Well, the manner we get there doesn't really change the fact that our quest takes us to Korriban if we want to complete it. So the question you have to ask is, do you want to be there or not?
Why not? I'd rather not dip out. Once we've been through so much already and we've gotten so far.
The Jedi actually standing by their word for once. I'm impressed.
There are some of us that do.
We could always try to convince them that you've decided to change sides.
That is what the Sith wanted to do.
Convincing with words is one thing, but convincing your inner thoughts is another.
Well, I mean, ideally, we won't encounter any other Sith. We'll try to word our argument in terms of how we approach the planet such that we won't have to deal with anybody else. This, of course, assumes that the last Wills is not in the heart of the Empire's operations and hopefully somewhere more remote.
Well, if we're gonna keep up with this plan, it sounds like we have to get both the ships out of here. I can only fly one of them. Arden, you were a pretty okay pilot.
Yeah, so.
Well, which one would you rather take back to wherever we're gonna meet up? The Phoenix or whatever hunk of junk the Sith brought?
I mean, I'd much rather have the Phoenix, but I guess it probably depends on which would be less obvious to fly around, maybe?
For now, we're just heading back, I guess, to a safe spot to kind of convene, plan.
I'm assuming while you guys are planning, you guys are taking care of the credit swap that we talked about earlier out of game.
Okay, gotcha.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Well, yeah, I suggest then we don't take the Phoenix to Korriban, like, at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just pay to have it docked in Coruscant for however long it's going to take. Probably not too long, assuming we don't die.
Would there be any merit to having it, like, on a asteroid or moon or something semi-close by? Like, we need a getaway vehicle?
I mean, it's not an impossible thought.
Mm-hmm. And it would
Could
require
also
an
be something for
astrogation check as well. Difficulty 3.
and that could also be something for G to do if he decides he does not want to head down to the surface. He could be our backup in case we need to make a quick getaway.
Success. You do know of a small moon that you might be able, with a successful piloting check, assuming that they're somewhat on patrols, that you might be able to stash that ship.
Yeah, I don't exactly make frequent raids into Imperial territory, but there's a hidey hole I think I could sneak her into.
First, we should see about getting her better outfitted. As much good as she's done for us, I don't know if she's up to fighting off Imperial craft.
We'll take care of everything we can. I don't know, but something about this seems rather final to me, so we better do whatever we can to. We don't know when we'll be back.
Also, I just realized I've been doing my accent this whole time.
Any other sticky points?
Well, I would still suggest that if we are going to get her outfitted, that we should head to Coruscant. We were thinking about dropping off our current collection with the Jedi Master there, and hopefully they'll be able to keep it secure.
Well, if we're gonna have the Phoenix stashed nearby, I wonder if it might just be more prudent to keep them there, and we can make a break right for Nihil after that.
Well, I'm not all that keen on bringing all of them to Nihil when we go there anyway. I'd rather we go there empty-handed.
But what if the trick to activating them all is in Nihil or whatever?
I mean, they themselves said that they did not want to be activated, and these people that do want them are have been said to be agents of darkness and whatnot. I'm not entirely sure that we should be really pursuing that, regardless of what our benefactor has in mind and what he's paying us to do.
Gee, you and I have had our ideological differences, but you study the Force. You know, like things like this, they're not meant to sit and waste away forever. They got to be used, whether for good or evil. I mean, I'd rather it be us than be someone like the Imperials.
Well said.
Well, that's the thing that you just said. It could be used for good and evil. You don't want to unleash a terrible evil into the galaxy.
I mean, you seem to be operating on the assumption that we're going to go to the Nihil retreat and we're going to be able to activate whatever is supposed to be activated there. And these sorcerers of Rhand are just going to leave us to do what we want with it.
When has anything ever been that smooth for us?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, I didn't spend all this time and risk my life this much to collect a couple of museum pieces. I was trying to get together the wills, and whatever that means, whatever that turns into, I want to see it.
Well, it's certainly an option. I'll leave it to the group to vote.
No, Skyros.
All right, sounds like we're down to the brass tacks.
My thought would be we go initially without them, and if it turns out that it's alright to bring them, we can always come back to Nighthill with them.
Well, the only other point I can make is we've seen that these sorcerers can appear very suddenly where they weren't, and that they're very scary when they're angry. So who knows if we get them and don't make our way there, if we won't get another visit.
I imagine there must be limits to their powers. If they could appear wherever they wanted, then they'd probably have collected the wills themselves by now, wouldn't they?
I don't know, this force stuff is very unnecessarily confusing.
If it was easy, anyone could do it.
Could you imagine if it all came down to like whether or not you had some kind of germ inside you or not? Wouldn't that be weird?
Lols.
Damn.
I'm sure Fezzik has had a lot of germs on him.
Right in its childhood.
So, that's all the planning we needed?
Well, out of character, we do still need to get the ships outfitted and get ourselves outfitted. And who knows, maybe Fezzik can help build G a new lightsaber.
That is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that rock candy is for?
It's not rock candy, it's a kyber crystal.
Oh, so it's patented rock candy.
Y'all could have told me before I took a bite out of it. No, I'm kidding. Fucking break my teeth.
Yeah, so I guess we should head to Korriban then? Or not Korriban, Coruscant.
Yeah.
Okay, not a problem. You guys jump to Coruscant, and you can do all sorts of shopping. In the meantime, you guys were doing your black marketeering. We've already discussed that out of character. Essentially, they're pawning off information and some parts and ships and droids, and you guys were able to find a buyer. And I had already posted the credits as well.
Yeah, and I've got those added to my sheet so we can subtract as we get our shopping done.
So you were the one that kind of took charge of this, Fez. So, or Azur. So you kind of help us out with.
Okay, and I'm not entirely sure how we want to go about. Like, are we going to make a roll for each item to see if we can find it, or should we just do one for each level of rarity?
We'll just kind of do it ad hoc here. If something gets way up in the rarity, then we'll take a look at it. But Coruscant, it is in the middle of a war, but supplies are coming in and out daily now, especially since the Republic has control of the area.
Okay, so would you say anything 5 and below we should be able to find fairly easily?
I would agree with that.
Okay, so let me go through our list real quick and see what meets that criteria. Nothing involving lightsabers, of course.
No, they are ultra rare.
For viewers current and future, Azur has spent the last week making a stupidly complicated Google Documents page for all of this.
Master and Lord of the spreadsheet.
Accountant in the making.
Send your kudos through space-time and pat him on the back.
Or bits. Bits are cool too.
So what do you need from us?
If there's anything else you guys want to get done in the meantime, I'm just going to make a really quick short list of the things that we can buy easily, and then from there figure out the ones that are a little harder to get.
Yeah, I've had a roleplay thing I've wanted to do for a while, and in the interim, can G and Phi have a good old discussion?
Okay.
I'm not sure how we're gonna frame it, but just at some point during this, he'll corner the Jedi a bit. Yeah.
G or a different Jedi?
G.
Okay.
G. Well, G, we've been traveling together a while, and you never really asked what my problem with you and your order.
See, a lot of Jedi have the understanding that not all people are always on the side of the Jedi or fully understand.
Doesn't it make you a little bit curious, though?
A little curious, but not so much that you need to confront it head on and directly.
Well, I guess that's fair enough, but since well, we both, but especially I might not make it back from this, did you ever, I don't know what you went through being a kid in that system, but did you ever, like, play with other children growing up?
When I was younger, yeah. But then, once the Jedi Council found out of my Force powers, they quickly brought me back to Coruscant and put me to training right away.
Yeah, I figured they didn't have a lot of room for make-believe, but uh, street kids on Nar Shaddaa, they like to play pretend a lot, pretend to be big bounty hunters or Imperial agents or anyone that mattered because we didn't matter. And well, you can imagine a lot of us pretended to be Jedi all the time.
And I'm sure your pretend was a lot more fun than what I had to go through. All the rigorous training, studying.
Yeah, it was, but see, we had this idea in our heads that the Jedi was like the king of rock paper scissors. You beat everybody. Everyone had to pretend to be dead if you hit them with your stick, and you could speak and people would have to listen to you. So if you got to be Jedi for the day, you were king of the alleyway. So when I grew up and their Jedi in real life got their asses kicked more often than they kicked ass, it kind of broke that image a bit.
That is the sacrifices that we have to do. The Jedi are strong, but the dark side can be much stronger.
I think sometimes Jedi, especially the ones who've been doing this a while, lose sight of the fact that there are some people real low on the totem pole all throughout the galaxy that look up to them a lot. And I know realistically you guys aren't invulnerable, but whenever you lose, whenever you give ground, these people that look up to you, they're the ones that are disappointed the most.
I don't know what to say there.
And I know you're still learning, and I'm a lot older than you are, but when you get to be the full thing, don't forget that there's some kids in these backwater planets that wish they could be everything that you are.
I'll definitely try to keep that in mind. Fortunately, sometimes the council does get caught up in the bureaucracy of the Republic.
Well, that's a promise then, right? If you're gonna get to that point, you gotta survive.
For you, I'll promise that.
Alrighty. I've been wanting to do that for weeks.
That is a great bonding moment.
Okay.
Get a room.
No homo. All right, what else is on the agenda?
Wanna have an exis, Arden?
Do what?
I don't know. You gotta go on stage now.
No, I don't. You think Arden has feelings?
I
She's
think
just gonna
just
make some
about
money,
everything except the lightsaber stuff would be under rarity 5, so I think we'll be okay. The only thing that's not... Oh, there's a couple of things that are under 5, but they're restricted, so I don't know how we want to approach that.
Okay, what are they?
One is a battle armor. Hang on. The heavy battle armor.
Restricted, like military?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yeah.
It just anything that's restricted just means that it's hard to find, not necessarily illegal.
Because it's a wartime, we're going to add 20% to the cost of that if you still want it.
Yeah, we'd be able to afford that.
You're gonna make us do math?
Oh, well, we could play a different system that's nothing but math. Have you looked into DMG? There's no dragons in here. It's all math.
There was one other thing. The Outlaw Tech Data Breaker. It's a slicer kit.
We will also go 20% on that.
Okay. Okay, and I'll go through like adding all the items and such in the meantime, but that just leaves the lightsaber stuff, really.
Assumingly G can have a little raid the janitor closet of the Jedi Temple. They keep spare hilts in there, right?
Would certainly gain you access to such things. I personally, because you have a Jedi in the party and it's going to the Jedi, obviously nobody else is trying to construct a lightsaber. I see no problem with securing those items.
Lore question for a moment.
Sure.
I think I've heard conflicting things on this. Can civilians use lightsabers, or do you have to be force sensitive to turn it on?
Mechanics wise, I don't see anything that would stop somebody as long as they had the ability to pick one up. Lore wise, again, people can use them, but not to great effect. As a storyteller, GM, like I maybe would allow somebody, but I would never allow them to have more than one rank of skill in it, unless they went down a force using path.
I don't know where I guess I picked it up from somewhere. I guess I thought in my head that lightsabers had to be, that's like the holocrons, you had to be force sensitive to even activate.
Those I could see. Most of those have internal switches.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to bog
No,
things down.
no, I mean it's a great question. I mean, we see throughout the movies and such. I mean, Han had no trouble using Luke's lightsaber to cut open that tauntaun.
Yeah, that's true.
But using it in battle is a different story. Deflecting blaster bolts, get out of here.
Of course, some people have speculated that Han actually is a Force user and he just didn't realize it himself.
That could be. Never proven, though.
Yeah, the way I imagine it is basically it's the difference between being able to swing a sword and the ability to deflect a bullet with a sword. Anybody could do the first if they've got enough manual dexterity and the strength to lift it, but the latter would definitely require crazy amounts of training.
Correct. Good question, though.
Yeah, so if we do want to hit up the lightsaber crafting, I can try to help with that. In a couple of seconds here, I should have the math on what I'll be able to add to my own mechanics bonuses to doing that.
I did find in the Force and Destiny book that a training lightsaber can easily be turned into a full power one just by changing out the power generator in the crystal.
Mm-hmm. Should be a simple task.
Unless you wanted to go overboard and buy a bunch of fancy hilts and attachments for it.
I mean, I did account for that in the money, so it's a possibility.
He's a benevolent accountant.
I even had a really cool specific build in mind that you could potentially create if we can find the parts for.
As for your ship, is it just a bunch of guns with a little bit of hull around it at this point?
Surprisingly, no. I've just swapped out the current guns for better guns, and the other hard points have gone towards improving the handling and its ability to dodge fire, and a little bit towards improving the gun's accuracy.
Cool.
And we had a conversation, like end of session last, about the fact that reasonably Fi could use a flamethrower instead of his gun.
It's a possibility. I did find a really cool combination if you wanted to not go that route. There's a ranged light weapon that gives melee attackers a boost or 2 boost die to their next attack if they hit the same target you hit. So that'd be a really good combination to set up between you and G.
Yeah, that's fine. I was making a joke.
All right. So
Yeah,
what
the
other maintenance
flamethrower
things
is
do we need to do?
possible. Sorry, what was that?
What other maintenance-y things do we need to take care of?
Well, I won't have the mechanics of it into the game system for a while yet, but
No problem. As long as
I
you
can
have
do it manually.
Yeah, as long as we can just ask questions and be able to update it as needed. No worries. All right, so you guys spent the time outfitting. I think if we're going to do anything with G's lightsaber, we should probably take care of it now. Other than that, I can't think of anything else before we move on.
Would we have fully healed?
So let me take a look at your guys' stats. I'm trying to see how damaged you were.
Did anyone have a critical injury? I think we're okay, right?
I don't think anybody had any crit injuries. I know people did take some wounds and strain.
No, G, you went down from the lightning, right?
He did, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think I ever got a critical off of it.
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
I was just up and down, up and up, up and down.
You playing Sigsaw?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did forget one thing. There's also a lot of the items and the attachments for the items have mods, and the mods require succeeding on hard mechanics checks to add. So I'm assuming we should hold off on handling that until like after the session, just so it doesn't get bogged down with all that.
No worries. As far as wounds and strain, here's what I'm going to rule. Set your wounds and strain. If you're injured or strained out, set it at 1/4 value round down of your character. If you're below that, you can just keep it as is.
Right.
I say round down, but round in your favor, which I believe is down.
Okay, so the big question is, do we want to shop for lightsaber parts or just modify the one that he has?
G, that's what you want to do.
I don't see no sense just trying to modify it now. With what we have.
I mean, we have the resources of the Jedi Temple. If they're willing to part with things for a price, we could certainly improve on it.
Usually one has to earn their status of getting a full lightsaber.
Well, the Force did bestow upon you a kyber crystal.
Do we know what kind of crystal that is? Because there's a whole bunch of different kinds.
I will have to look through the list. If you could copy pasta for me real quick, that would be amazing.
All right, give me just a moment.
I think you guys are scared to go to Korriban.
Definitely.
It's like being a little ladybug diving into a hornet's nest.
See, I'm probably not as scared of Korriban as I should be, because that's the only character of SWTOR I played was the Sith War. So I started there, so I actually like the place.
I love the desert, the dry heat.
In the meantime, I guess I'll say that during this fight, probably had our medical droid dump as many sedatives into him as possible to most likely little to no effect.
Well,
Yeah, could we have consulted with the Jedi to see if they'd know what's going on with him?
Yeah. Fi, do you want me to give an explanation, or would you like to? Because you know the answer.
Yeah,
It's built into your character.
If you had asked that, Fi would have told you no, that he doesn't need to have anyone look at him. It's not something new. This is old.
An
Care to
uncomfortable
go into
silence
any
fills the air.
further detail?
What was that, Azar?
Care to go into any further detail, or are we just gonna leave it at that?
Well, I mean, geez, I didn't exactly ask you to give me a dossier on your background when I let you on the
Let me on the ship. It's my ship.
Don't be a dick.
Look, I'm an old soldier type, and suffice it to say that I didn't retire from duty or whatever it is you call it because I wanted to.
Are we gonna have to worry about you going out there, or you think you'll be all right?
You know, I'll get back to you on that.
Mysterious.
There we go.
I mean, if you want, we can try and find you some power armor or something to kind of relieve the strain on you.
Put me in the Stephen Hawking chair.
I mean, I'm sure we could outfit a wheelchair with some kind of gun mount.
Has anyone here played Bloodborne?
Negative.
Oh no. There's a wheelchair grandpa with a mounted flamethrower on it.
That sounds about right for that game.
So that's a bunch of lightsaber crystals he put in Discord.
He did. Oh my.
And the one in particular I'm hoping we find is the Eton crystal.
Ghost fire.
Okay, let me pull up that information so I'll have it on my record.
Only harvested from a particular rock found in a handful of planets. When inserted into a lightsaber hilt, the crystal produced a near translucent blade that shone dimly and left an illusory afterimage.
A loser after him. So like me.
Illusory.
Illusory?
Giggity.
No, is that what you said?
Hold on.
My English isn't working.
I typed it illusory.
Illusory.
Oh. So it's not loose, okay.
Basically, you get like a white out lightsaber.
That's dope as fuck, though.
Also, it's apparently the lightsaber is almost completely silent.
It could be useful.
Somebody heard me take the foil off my cheesecake, and now he's gonna throw.
All right, so we got the crystal, and we need to change the power generator. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, there is actually one lightsaber attachment that would be in our rarity bracket.
What's that?
I can give it a curved hilt.
Oh, so you can be Dooku.
Or Ventress.
Makashi style. Well, Ventress was Dooku's apprentice, right?
That's correct. And Darth Bane as well.
That's the Makashi style hill, right?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily Makashi, but I mean, obviously Ventress was more Niman. Dooku was a Makashi specialist, and well, Bane was Bane. So
And the description given does say the curved hilt is preferred by duelists and practitioners of the lightsaber combat form Makashi. So it's definitely in that bracket.
I can see how that would go with the Ghost Fire Crystal. I can see the theme there.
And you also get advantage to all attacks. One advantage to all attacks made in on one-on-one combat.
oh, nice.
I know you don't have a tree dedicated to it, but for flavor, like what lightsaber style does G use?
I have no idea.
Noted.
I don't think he got that far in training.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, during this time period, you would have been trained definitely in like Shicho, Makashi, Surisu. Shien.
I know that I don't love it, but I kind of like how this system pairs them into their own talent tree.
Yeah, you can definitely specialize if you want to.
All right, so what else are we doing? We making rolls or?
Unless we needed to get anything else for the lightsaber, everything else has been covered, so I think we're good to go.
I didn't look at the construction rules. Did we need to
That's what I'm trying to
roll
look
stuff
up right
to
now.
put that together? I have the critical injury table up because I sure use that a lot. Fucking Arden her 3.
I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me.
Ooh, you know what else falls in the rarity rating is the Thalothian Heartwood hilt.
All right, narrative. Actually, assembling Swan's lightsaber is about as difficult as assembling a flashlight. Attachments and mods do take effort. So pretty simple there. So I see no reason with a little time and meditation, G, would not be able to craft their lightsaber, we'll consider that a success.
Alrighty then.
Do we have stats on the new saber?
I can throw something together real quick here.
Just based off of the thing, it's a damage 6, crit on a 2. Has breach 1, sunder, and the special, which is posted in the doobly-doo in the Discord.
Yes, I love my daily checking of the doobly-doo.
What's your profanity?
All right, so while we're doing that, let's move on. Is the plan still to locate a small asteroid or moon to park the ship?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then you're going to take the Theta class down?
Yeah, we're
All
gonna...
decked out in our stormtrooper armor.
All right, do we have all the stats for it for everyone?
The armor everyone should have already.
Okay. I'm assuming all 4 are wearing it, or is G going to pose as a Force user?
That is a solid question.
I think it would be more inconspicuous if we were all dressed the same. And also raise less questions as to why a Force wielder is just roaming around aimlessly.
Okay.
You can be our prisoner. Wink wonk.
How do you feel about lying a lot? Is what Arden is saying.
But she also just wants to wear the sick armor.
All right, so we got that. Just in case something goes afoul, who is aboard which ship? Obviously, somebody is going to have to pilot each.
I will take the Phoenix to put it down on the asteroid.
Okay, and obviously the Theta class will have to rendezvous with you. So who is aboard which ship is my question.
I'll go with Phi, I guess.
Okay, 2 on the Phoenix.
I'll take the Theta.
Okay, and then it leaves G.
I'll stay on the Phoenix.
Okay, so 3 and 1. Fido, I want you to make me
No.
a piloting check. Okay, it's going to be a difficulty 2, but we're going to make 1 a red die. And because you're taking all the brunt of this, you're going to have 1 setback die as well.
Noted and absolutely, although I do have through talents, I can ignore that.
Okay, good.
So does that look right?
Let me see your pool. I got to open mine. Yes, that looks correct. Oh, I was hoping for a despair.
You fucking were.
All right, so you guys rendezvous on the small, it's not really even much of a moon. It's a very large asteroid. You park the Phoenix Dawn. You guys hop over to the Theta class ship. You no more than get a parsec away or so, and you are being hailed. Theta class 237419. State your destination.
Your mom.
No.
I'm assuming
This
that
is-
wasn't over the intercom.
No.
Yeah, let's not.
I imagine in the cockpit they're like, Arden, shut off.
This is Theta
You
class.
need
We're on
to
our
shut the fuck up.
Great.
Go ahead.
This is Theta class. We're back en route to Korriban.
I see. What were you doing at asteroid X1419 Alpha?
We've been having mechanical difficulties ever since we've come back from this terrible planet that our leader sent us to. Dagobah is flooding the system. Keep having to stop and make repairs.
Dagobah? That's a quite a ways out. Send over your manifest and your log as well.
Oh, by the way, I swear I did mean to mention this, but I was so distracted with the shopping list and everything. I was planning on making sure that our trip to Coruscant was erased from the ship's records.
Okay. That should be a pretty simple task.
Sure you don't wanna
However,
make
it's going to
him
cost
roll?
you a light side point.
Aw.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I wanted him to get a despair and delete the log.
Oh my god. Like, what is this?
I mean,
These
to
are all
be fair, that could also fit with what we were saying about the ship malfunctioning a whole lot.
Yeah, it's our log. I don't know. We ain't never been to these places. Bunny Ranch, what's that?
Ram Ranch, what's that?
I'll send it over. Oh, is that over the intercom?
No, I'm laughing.
Sorry, my bad.
God damn it. That's too damn funny. All right, so do you transmit everything over?
Yes, sir. Dude, stop talking.
I didn't say it with my mic on.
Oh my god. All right, so you transmit it over. Everything seems to be in order. Go ahead and set down. Prepare for an inspection. They, of course, send over coordinates for a landing bay.
We're not, like, are we at Korriban already, or is this still quite a ways out?
Oh, you're at Korriban.
Alright, I will do so, although I will go ahead and let everyone know that this is getting hot already.
Oh, yes, it is. Well, I mean, you didn't have a success on your piloting check. They noticed you coming in.
Right.
So, you set down. As you're getting closer to this red ball of a planet, you can see it's not the full fleet, obviously, but a good portion has been assembled, showing the Sith Empire's might. You'll come in, you'll pass some of these TIE fighters that just buzz by you like nothing's happening. A few of smaller freighters zipping in and about, up to the larger capital class ships. You hit atmosphere, and it's a lot rougher than you had initially thought. The winds and everything is just so terrible on this planet. But you're able to kind of right the ship, keep it coming in at a level keel. You set down. You no more than open the hatch and get ready to walk out. As an Imperial officer will walk up with 6 stormtroopers and 2 technicians. I see. Where's the captain of this ship?
Did we have that discussed at all?
Nope, but we're going to discuss it right now.
Well, he had rejoined the fleet and sent us back to get the ship repaired. He was worried that we were just going to hold everything up.
He sent 4 stormtroopers back.
Enough to fly the ship. That was all he was willing to spare.
All right, so let's start making some rolls. Fezzik, since you spoke, go ahead and make me I would say, deception? Does that sound good? Difficulty 2?
Okay, and I will go ahead and spend a light side point because I am terrible at this.
It sounds plausible, but not, so we're not going to make any any modifiers. I could add 1 boost and 1 setback, but we won't yet.
Hold on. Can I do my reroll thing for his green?
For the green? Mm-hmm. All them advantages.
All right.
He kind of eyes you. Who's the commander of this outfit?
Vi will kind of shimmy on up a bit. I was the highest ranking
He
one,
interrupts you halfway before your third word. Do you always let them speak out of order? He looks at you. Lieutenant?
Sorry, I've taken injury.
Injury? It's worse all the time. Get your men out of here. We're confiscating this ship.
Alright, you heard him, men. Let's go.
The stormtroopers just eye you as you're rolling out. You can hear some of them chattering and laughing underneath their helmets. It's very muffled. You guys head down the ramp, and you get to kind of an overlook, and you're going to see for the first time the Valley of the Sith Lords. You see kind of a large courtyard, and set inside both halves of this valley, you can see great temples that are erected, probably 30-meter tall statues of ancient Sith Lords. You can see troops moving in and about. You can see some people with lightsabers dueling and sparring, training down below. And you were at the turbo lift.
Are we mostly alone, or are there people walking with?
No one is with you right now. It doesn't take much, though, to blend in with a crowd, so to speak, that could be both advantageous or disadvantageous, depending on how you look at it. No one is around at the moment. Also, GM question, did anybody bring the dagger or the wills? And if not, where are they?
I'm assuming we would have left those on the Phoenix. That was the idea.
Oh, so did we leave them on the Phoenix as there was protest about that? But also, didn't we generally need the dagger to unlock them? So we would have probably brought.
For most of them, yes, you have needed it.
You know, we don't need to unlock it here on the planet, though. We can unlock it when we get back to the ship.
I mean, like, some of them have been hidden in, like, chambers or temples that needed the dagger to be open.
Okay, yeah, we can say we brought it with us, but
Okay.
I would not have gone along with bringing the wills themselves.
Okay. Who has the dagger?
G.
G has the dagger. Okay, carry on.
File kind of whisper under his breath. Alright, so do we know where we're going here? Who had the vision of Korriban?
I believe that was G.
I was Gorsent.
So was that me then? Was Fi the one that had the vision of Korriban?
His injuries are acting up. Oh, was it me? Oh, I've just been so out of it.
I don't remember. Out of
Did I
character, don't
hallucinate
remember.
that, or did you hallucinate that?
Yeah, no, yeah. G was Coruscant, Fez was Dagobah. That was. So what geography did I see in my vision?
You remember seeing, now that you're here, you remember seeing the Valley of the Sith Lords, and it swooped in on a particular statue. If you could get a better view of the front side of the statues, it may jog your memory.
Alright, I'm not sure exactly where we're going, but I know that we gotta get over closer to those statues.
Well, as long as we act like we know what we're doing, I doubt we'll get bothered too much.
Just try and move in formation, act official and mechanical and stormtroop.
Aye, aye, Lieutenant.
That's awesome. All right, so let's do this. I want everybody to make... let's see. Do we have... There's no, like, acting skill in this, but... Let's do discipline. Difficulty 1, and I'm looking for half the party to succeed. Perfect. You guys are a motley assortment. Fi is just so focused on making sure, he's so nervous and worried that else is going to fuck up. He himself looks a little out of place. The rest of you, decent. Not the best troopers that you've seen. But for the most part, you guys go unnoticed. You make your way down the turbo lift. Yeah, it's the limp. Make your way down the turbo lift into the courtyard proper. From here, you have pretty much access to anywhere. You start looking over at the statues. Fi, I want you to make me a perception, 1 red.
Oh, you made this difficult.
As a side note, while we're walking, can I be hacking into... Well, I think I'd already hacked into the data pad, so I shouldn't need to do that again, right?
You do not.
Okay, I just want to get into that and start trying to invent fake orders to go to the Valley of the Sith.
All right, here's also a answer for the question you had earlier.
Good to know.
So yeah, that's probably why you're only had no successes. You're just able to kind of keep up. You're the guy that can't stay off of his phone while texting and always looking up, right?
Bumping into corners.
So far, you haven't had a need for anything, but I want you to make me a computer use. This is fairly difficult, so 2 purple, 1 red to come up and forge orders. Or you could use skullduggery if you want.
I will stick with computers. That is definitely my forte.
Okay, so if you were ever, you believe that if you are ever kind of questioned, you have orders on your data pad ready to go. 5, good success. I was looking for a failure here. As you're looking around, you see the statue. You're kind of frozen. It froze in place for just a moment, but not enough for anyone outside your group to notice. The other 3 of you do see him stop and kind of stare up at the statue.
This is the one. This one looks familiar.
Is that where we're headed, sir?
Yes, let's move. Double time.
All right. As you get closer, let me show you a picture similar to what it looks like. And posted. Obviously, it's much larger than this picture. Again, standing at least 30 meters tall. At its feet, you see a large entryway.
Having done a lot of study in the Jedi Temple, would I recognize this face?
Probably not, but I will allow you to make a lore check. It is incredibly difficult. It's going to be a 4.
Does that only apply to people who have
Holy
proficiency in lore?
shit. This would be specific to the Jedi. I mean, if you had in your background or something, you know, I studied some Jedi lore, then I would have allowed a roll.
Yeah, definitely not for him.
G, you recognize this from an old tome. It is Freedon Nad, Sith Master.
Do those threats make us have a problem?
I'm sorry? Oh, well, I haven't got to that point yet.
Okay, good.
So, you don't know a ton about them, but you know that this is one of the more well-known Sith through galactic lore. He's a bad dude. Obviously, you can infer from this is probably either his resting place or some sort of monument to him. And you can feel, again, kind of that cold, almost a nexus in the Force deep within the tomb when you kind of push your senses out a little bit.
Well, guys, I think we're in the right place.
You are. Now let's get to the threats. A young Sith apprentice starts moving towards your group. Gets closer. And he's upon you. This is not a pureblood Sith. He looks relatively humanoid for the most part.
What are you doing here, troopers? Standing around gawking all day?
Under orders to patrol the Valley of the Sith Lords.
Orders? By whom?
By our contingent leader, Darth Van Trion?
What was his name? Vontrian.
Von Trion.
You have better things to do. Come with me.
Roger.
If you want to see the tomb so badly, I shall make that happen.
And he starts heading over to the tomb.
I'll follow.
All right. Inside, you can hear the flitting of wings, the scraping of claws on the ground. He looks over at you.
What are you waiting for? Make yourself useful. Clear the way.
All right, men, let's get the blasters out.
All right. Do you all follow suit?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. This Sith just kind of leans against the doorway, waiting for you guys to pass through and clear his way because it is clearly beneath him. You enter into the tomb. Although you can hear the flitting of wings, there is torchlight inside. It is dark and or mysterious. You don't see any way to access past a certain point. You go down a few corridors and you get to a statue. It's not incredibly tall. It's maybe 4 meters or so in height. And on it is a placard, and it reads, "Stunning and humming, I shine bright, swirling and twirling with all my might, cutting and slicing through all sorts of flesh. Nothing can stop me, not even armored mesh."
Sounds like he was fond of his lightsaber.
Well, I've still got Darth Vonatrons on me.
Can I investigate? Like, is there anything on this other than the plaque?
You can tell me what exactly you're investigating. It's just kind of carved into a placard there just below his chest. And then a stone kind of squared pillar is the bottom. You see no visible exits other than the way that you came in. What would you like to investigate?
Is there any slot, like, maybe does the statue have arms, like somewhere for him to like hold a lightsaber or insert a hilt?
You don't need to investigate for that. No, you do not see. It is a bust.
Well, it doesn't look like it's a key or anything. Maybe we just need to present it to him.
Are we a decent enough distance away from that Sith that we believe he probably wouldn't overhear us lighting up a lightsaber?
You believe he is at the entrance, though you can make a perception check.
I'm good at these.
You're better than I am.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be, you're always going to have a red, so just count on that. It's going to be 2. 1 purple, 1 red.
I don't see him, guys. I think we're in the clear.
Well, if he thinks we can clear the way, he wouldn't have any reason to suspect we have a lightsaber.
That's true.
We heard those noises, but we didn't see any like monsters that were made.
No, you can hear them all about you. But you're not able to pinpoint. It's just, think of it as skittering and flapping and claw, foot on ground, sounds coming all around you. It's probably very unnerving.
Can I just try and see if I can move this pillar statue at all?
It looks incredibly heavy, but you can certainly try. If you'd like, it would be in athletics. Probably we'll even do a red here. Difficulty, 3 purple, 1 red. It is just far too heavy.
I'm not sure what type of weapon I've since been upgraded to, but can I just take a shot and like take his gun and shoot a shot into the ceiling?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of discharge around and see if anything happens.
All right, you fire your bolt into the air. Let's roll initiatives, and you are surprised.
Oh boy. I didn't surprise them with that sick shot.
No, you did not.
Which one are we rolling?
Vigilance.
Vigilance, yes. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we have some added stats or anything?
Not entirely sure how to go about like adding things to your guys' sheets. I can check the library real quick and see if the guns themselves are at least in. But otherwise, we can just stick to the weapons you guys currently have, and we'll just worry about that for the next session. I can get it all updated. But
All right, cool.
All right, so we've got... All right, player characters are all going to go after me. Let me get you a picture as well here. Oh, this is a funny picture. Okay.
I think I know these guys from the game.
No, you do not. Well, you might know this guy,
Okay.
but different game.
I seem to remember something about bugs in the temple. Oh no, not that.
No. All right. So one of the side areas just opens up, ducking underneath the entryway. This large Mantelian Savrip emerges, and he looks hungry. Let's do this.
Mantilian Savram?
Savrip.
Savra.
It's fine. It's fine. It looks right at Fi as your gun is still smoking at the end of the barrel. It moves forward into engaged range. And let's see. All right, it's going to go for a bite attack. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. How do you feel about damage?
Just heap it on me. Jesus, that's a lot of dice.
It comes in with a bite. Locks onto your armor as it starts to pick you up.
oh, what did we wind up saying about wound and strain recovery?
Put
in the meantime
yourself
when we were getting all that
Yep.
stuff done?
so if you were below 1/4, you will stay there. If you are higher than 1/4, bring yourself down to that. Example, if you have 12, you would be a 4. But if you already had 2, you would stay at 2.
Okay.
All right, I need you to make a difficulty 2 resilience check as well, Fi. As you take... that's a lot of damage. I hope your soak is good. 12 points.
Yeah. 12. 8. So I have a soak of 4.
Okay. He picks up Fi. You can see the bite marks in this kind of shoulder area of his armor. He shakes him about for a little bit and then drops him to the ground. You can see kind of this greenish purple liquid around its mouth. You can see it around the bite mark where Phyrus was. But you made your check. All right, player characters' turns. What are you guys going to do? This thing is bestial and very angry.
Am I in like engaged range with it?
Yes, you are. Everyone else is short.
I would like to, if I could go ahead, is that fine? I guess
I hear no
so.
objections.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I'll move out to short range from it.
Okay.
Then I will just take a good old shot.
Okay. Roll to hit. Short range, difficulty 1. Paching! Success. For 5 damage. Duly noted. You can see it strike it in its meaty thigh. He winces in pain for just a second, but starts looking about the room. Who's next?
Could I also take the strain to do another move and run further away?
Yeah, you absolutely can. You'll move to medium distance.
Is that 1 or 2 strain?
2 strain.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Who's next?
I can go next, I guess. I've got nothing particular in mind.
Sure.
I'm just going to pull out my new rifle and do a double aim maneuver, which doesn't cost me strain because of an attachment to it.
Nice.
Aim is the maneuver, and then I get an incidental aim as well.
2 boosts.
And then take a shot at.
All right. And short
And I'm
range
in
is
short range, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
mhm. Difficulty 1. That's a lot of yellow.
Yep, I get. I put 2 into it, and another one of the attachments upgrades it once. So
Cool.
total of.
Ooh, because you guys are gonna need that damage. Not enough for a crit, looks like. But let's see, modular rifle. So Fezzik brings his rifle to bear, probably drops down on a knee, just real quick, sets his sight, takes his aim, waits, pulls the trigger, blast. You strike it in its left kind of shoulder area. It rinses back in pain.
And that actually is enough for a crit because I do have my cybernetic that gives me 1 advantage automatically.
Oh, nice. Nice. Let's do this. Just base crit?
Yeah, there's no vicious on that one.
Okay, so 70. I know Rin always has the chart up.
70 is scattered senses. The target removes all bonus from skill checks until the end of the count.
Okay. Oh, we got 2 more player characters. Can you guys bring it down?
I can go.
Go right ahead.
Can I pew pew at him?
You sure can. Your friend is not looking so good. Can you save the day?
And your attachment lets you do the same thing. You can aim as an incidental, so you can do a maneuver and an aim to get 2 boost without strength.
Well, darn. Can I do? I'll probably do that then.
Yeah. So as long as you don't move, you can always add 2 boost die. 1 boost die if you move. And 1 purple.
Oh, wow.
Does the pistol
The
roll only do
really-
2 damage?
It does, but here's the thing: with 2 advantage, it deals 8 stun. That ignores soak.
Oh, okay.
That was like the best thing I could find to be a good replacement for the ion pistol.
I gotcha. So it will either do regular damage or spend 2 to do the 8. Is that correct?
It does both. The stun is a separate thing. It's a thing that activates. It's not stun damage.
So I'm trying to parse this in my head. So it would either do, in this case, 5 damage, or, and I know stun goes through straight to wounds in this, or you could spend 2 and it would do 8 plus 3.
No, the 8 is a set feature of the gun, so it does the 5 damage that gets absorbed by soak.
Oh, that's...
And then if you spend the advantage, it does 8 stun that goes through soak.
That's disgusting. Okay.
It's pretty bad.
So that's 13. Here's how we're gonna...
The 8 though is strain. It's not damage.
Okay. Let me see if it has strain. All right, it has no strain, therefore it goes straight to damage. So here's how we're going to parse this out. G, unfortunately, they won't even need your expertise in this. Arden pulls out her pistol. I imagine just holds it sideways. It's like, pow! It strikes this creature in the chest. You can see the sparkling ripples of electricity kind of dance out across its neck and start down its arms. It kind of winces in pain, doubles over, falls forward almost like it's going to bite Fi, but its head kind of twists sideways as it twitches one last time. You hear a lightsaber ignite and move from down the hall the way that you guys came from. We're out of combat. The figure stops, looks over you, still standing at the threshold, not in the room yet. Not bad for a few stormtroopers.
Our units survived a lot out there before we got back.
I see. You three, take care of your lieutenant. I shall proceed further.
He moves up to the statue, reads the inscription. About 1 second later, he ignites his lightsaber. You see the eyes shine on the statue as a different passage opens up. And this is where we're going to take our first break. Let's be back at top of the hour. Sound good?
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, and I am back.
Welcome back.
All right, I think maybe we should do a little healing here. I think everybody can make their, what is it, cool or discipline? Got a little bit back, Fi.
Yeah, not a lot.
Dang, Arden.
Jeez.
What does that get me?
You are fully replenished as you were only missing one wound.
Right, right.
And-
Guess what little terror has come to join us?
If I had you not made that resilience check, you would have lost your free maneuvers.
Fun.
All right, shall we carry on?
Are we wayward sons?
Perhaps. They're on what,
Don't
like
miss
season
him for me.
14?
Is Moon back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright.
All right, so you take a few moments to recover your wounds, do any sort of bandaging that you need to. The apprentice has moved on, and the path forward is now clear for you.
Arden and G, if you could scout ahead a little bit. Fez, you think you could stand back and help patch up my shoulder here?
I'm not the best at that sort of thing, but I can give it a shot.
I trust you.
I have a stim pack if that would help at all.
Yeah, I've got one.
Okay, okay.
All right, looks like medicine difficulty 2 because over the halfway threshold.
And I do have that. Is that with the stim pack?
Stim pack will reduce it by 1. So now it is now a 1.
Oof.
Oof. You'll still gain 1 wound back if you want to spend the 3 advantage.
Better than nothing. But as Fez helps him up and the others have kind of drifted out of earshot, right? Unless y'all are standing.
I think we can make that happen. Go ahead.
Hey, Fez, I wanted to say something real quick.
Sure, what's up?
We had our argument about what you did back at Center Point. In light of recent events, bets are off. All right, you do whatever you have to do to get G and Arden out of here.
Duly noted, but don't expect me to just leave you behind on a moment's notice.
No, I don't. But if you gotta shoot, it's me. All right.
I'll bear that in mind.
I'm trusting you.
Okay.
Somehow, somewhere, I feel as though the moment was just ruined.
Very somber moment.
All right, and we'll rejoin.
All right, so they catch up. Arden and G, you get to the next chamber. Again, the passageways are not very wide. At most points, you could go 2 abreast. You get to a very small room. It's maybe 2 meter by 2 meter, and then maybe 3.5 meters tall. Room for just one person to enter. On 3 of the walls, there are torches burning very brightly. You can see everything in this very small room. There is a placard on the floor, and it reads, "Tall and black, flesh I lack."
Oh, that's gross.
Had to go there, didn't you?
Wouldn't I go there?
Veins poking out. Okay, anyways. It seems you guys are presented with another challenge. Now, for this room, it is very small. Only one person can fit in at a time.
I can go first.
All right, Arden confidently moves into the room. She may have the solution to this. What would you like to do?
I don't have no solution for this. I'll go in and
You
look
left it
around
back
at
on the ship?
least. Yep. Is there anything else in the room that's obvious?
There is not. Again, 3 torches on the wall. This room is very brightly lit. And on a placard at your feet, center of the room, it reads, "Tall and black, flesh I lack."
Assuming you don't see our Sith friend in there.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, he got out of there somehow. What's any clues that you can see?
She'll recite the little riddle to them.
Okay, posted in the doobly-doo.
Are there any light sources in there?
3 of them. Maybe if we turn them off?
What if you make a really big shadow?
Can
That's
I...
a smart idea.
Yeah, it's smarter than what I had. Can I work on that? Can I position myself to try and the biggest dark area I can?
In this room, it's far too small it's too small and too bright. I guess to position yourself, really.
Well, then maybe turning the lights off would be a good idea.
Okay. There are 3 torches, one on each wall.
Can she go ahead and snuff them out one by one?
Okay. You snuff the first one out. Room gets a little bit dimmer, but still pretty bright. You snuff the second one out. Gets much darker, but just enough to still kind of see shadows dancing on the walls. You snuff the third one out. Complete darkness.
Does anything special happen?
The room got dark, but nothing out of the ordinary happens.
Hey, G, give her some backlight.
Okay, I'll take out my lightsaber and put it on.
Okay, snap hiss. Lightsaber comes to life. G, who was positioned right behind Arden. You can see this, Arden, you can see your shadow dancing along the wall. It starts to move of its own accord. The wall becomes a solid black entity, and a few moments later you hear the grinding of stone as the way forward presents itself. Good job.
Smarty pants.
At least my brain isn't failing me.
Is it limping?
Damn.
You got the brain limps, that's when you really gotta worry.
Forward we go.
All right, you move down another set of corridors, stairs descending down to the deeper levels. You get into a much larger room. You see a statue erected of what appears to be Friedenad. At his feet, you see a small altar, and it looks like an unlit lightsaber placed atop that altar. To the left and to the right, you see similar statues, neither of which have lightsabers. No visible way forward.
And once again, our Sith friend is nowhere to be seen.
You do not see him.
Well, not that we all haven't had this thought already, but as we're proceeding forward here, I think we should bear in mind we're probably going to have to fight that guy at some point.
Let's cross our fingers and hold out hope that we won't have to, but
Well, I mean, we'll either have to fight him or we'll have to fight the thing that killed him. Either way, it's not going to be fun.
inspecting the statues, do they have more writing on them?
There is no visible writing that you can see.
You said that these statues do not have lightsabers?
2 of the 3 do not.
Can we take the one that has one? Can we take that lightsaber?
Do you wish to take the lightsaber?
Do I? Thoughts? Opinions?
It's more wood art and pick the lightsaber up.
Yeah, why not?
All right. So let's do this. I need you to make me a discipline check. Difficulty 2 red.
Can I re-roll her green advantage die?
You can for this scene, yes.
So I reroll that, or do you?
Yeah, just throw 1 green into the...
That is enough.
Hey.
Okay.
And it cancels the threat.
So here is what happens.
Thanks.
You reach down to grab the lightsaber. Before you touch it, you get a tingle up your arm as the hairs on your arm start to stand up. You reach out for it, and just before you touch it, a bolt of lightning kind of arcs through. You're not going to suffer any damage, but you know if you try to pick up that lightsaber again, good things are not going to happen.
Well, that was the best.
Feeling okay there?
Yeah, just scratch. It's fine. I'm kidding.
Looking at the lightsaber, does it seem like it could be removed?
I guess anything's possible?
Questions Arden should have asked before going for it.
Oh, gee, I know you're trying to keep a bit of a low profile, but can you do a little bit of your sorcery business?
I mean, another possibility is, like I said, I do have the our Sith friend's lightsaber. I could just lop the statue's hands off.
Is there any writing that's on the altar?
I'm sorry. What could possibly be on the altar? What was the question?
Is there any writing on the altar?
None that you see.
I mean, if you have two lightsabers, couldn't you put one in each hole set area?
I mean, we could, but I don't know if there's any guarantee we'll be able to get them back out.
That's a solid point.
Let's try this first. Try picking it up with the Force, G, and see if that shocks you.
If you wish to, make a force die roll.
Hey, Arden, why don't you stand between G and the statue and get that shield up?
Now here's the question, G. Do you wish to pick it up using the power of the dark side, or would you like to use the light side point to convert it?
Well,
Do it.
We're gonna dabble into the dark side.
Okay. G reaches out, lifts the saber. It kind of titters for a moment and yanks on it. It does not remove from its case, from its place there upon the altar. However, behind the altar, you can hear the sound of stone grinding as the way forward has presented itself.
You just had to try and take it?
I think maybe it had more to do with using force powers in general, maybe.
Yeah, these Sith would probably try and keep anyone out, but someone that has their power.
Maybe it's a question you will have to ask the Sith if you run into him.
Let's avoid that.
Hey, so we followed you here by using our own force powers. You can let us know if we did that right.
All right, the way forward has presented itself. I'm assuming you guys move forward.
Yep.
You move down the hall. You can see a much larger room down the way. You hear some activity. You hear grunting and the sound of sabers colliding. However, the three of you stop and look at Ji as her pack is glowing.
I mean, his.
I'm sorry, his pack is glowing.
I was like, did he mean G and say her, or did he mean Arden and say...
Ji's pack is glowing. Again,
Yeah.
you guys are about halfway down the hall, but you do hear the sound of battle ahead, maybe 20 meters.
I think our dagger is kind of reacting to this place.
Wanna take it out there for a sec?
Yeah, I'll take it out of my secret hiding spot.
All right, so you pull out the dagger. It is definitely glowing. And just kind of looking about this hallway, you're going to see those strange indentations in one of the walls.
Can I adjust the dagger so I can fit it in?
You absolutely can. You adjust the dagger. Its prongs kind of extract. You place it in the slot, and with a twist, you hear some grinding of stone as a small kind of antechamber opens up. At this point, you hear the sound of combat over in the far room.
Over as in the sounds have stopped?
That is correct.
Sorry, the sounds are from like a room up ahead and the dagger opened a side passage?
That is 100% correct. Sounds like there was a battle being waged in the room further ahead that you have not been to. However, you guys stopped midway down the hallway as you noticed the dagger glowing. You opened up a side antechamber.
File put his hand on G's shoulder. I think our Sith friend's up ahead. What do you want to do about it?
Well, if we can avoid the conflict, it'd probably be for the best.
Yeah, I strongly suggest we get that dagger inside so that he does not notice the glow coming up the hallway.
Let it be on your shoulders then, and I'll push him inside.
All right, fair enough. Everybody following suit?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So as a kind of side note, everyone who is not a participant in this, if they were to look down that hallway, you would see the Sith kind of take his eyes down the hallway, seeing nothing, as you guys had slipped narrowly into the side chamber. In this room, there is, on the ground, you see kind of a circular pattern. It looks like at some point there was maybe an altar here. You're not quite certain. However, on the four walls, it's kind of a, think of it as a placard that spans all four walls. And it says, "The only true law is that which leads to freedom."
So, just to see if I'm following or everyone's following me here, but this was built into an ancient Sith burial chamber, right?
That is correct.
Is it just me, or were the other... Oh, the first ones were, but weren't a lot of these other artifacts in more, like, circumstantial places?
Well, I mean, if somebody else found it before us, they may have given it a place of, I don't know, importance, I guess. The other ones we kind of found after they'd been forgotten for a long time, it felt like.
Something about it being enshrined here doesn't do me a lot of confidence.
It is quite possible that when they put it in here, they didn't know what it really was.
Would I have any way of knowing anything about the wills in terms of whether they're good, neutral, or evil?
Very unlikely. Lore difficulty, we're just going to go straight to 5.
Nope.
Shrouded in mystery.
I mean, it's, I suppose, like anything, it's possible that the wills that they found here were not all that good, or also possible that that it's been sitting here for so long that it became not so good.
Alright, sorry, did you say the room was, like, pretty much blank except for that writing?
Yes, the writing spans all 4 walls.
The only true law is that which leads to freedom. Obviously, it's referring to death, and we should all kill ourselves.
Alright, you first.
Nose goes.
Just for fun, Fi's gonna. Can he just go like feeling the walls, the different walls of the.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say maybe perception.
Really drawing upon my forte here. How much difficulty?
Difficulty for this is going to be 3.
I'll give him a hand with it.
Okay, boost that.
I've seen crazier. Come on, Force.
Wow.
Hey, Lamau.
Resounding success.
Nice.
All right. So as you're scouring this room, nothing jumps out at you immediately. However, you do notice a few small things. The center, that looks like a pedestal was once there, you can tell that it's still here. It is pressed deep within the floor. You don't see any visible mechanisms that would raise it up.
Alright, hey guys, if you'll bend down here, like, it looks like the platform here, that the pedestal's sunk down, hit it with the dagger a few times, gee.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Does it look like there's any spots for the dagger to go?
You do not see anything, even with the 3 success.
Attempt a brawn brawl check with the dagger.
It's gonna break the damn thing. We're gonna get like 3.
Crit fail, 30 damage.
Yeah.
File can look up at the wall and just in a very like clear voice. The only true law is that which leads to freedom.
No laws lead to freedom.
Is there anything on the ceiling?
There is not.
I assume it's completely flush with the ground. There's no like lip or anything that we might be able to grab onto.
That is correct. There's got to be some sort of mechanism, but it is not visible.
Fi, scratching his head, he'll reach back into his pouch that has the chance cube and kind of touch on it. He'll try and quote something that she had said once before, that there is no good or evil, only the dark.
Very good. The doorway that you guys entered shuts. The room supernaturally starts to get dark. So dark that I don't think anybody has any special vision. That you can't even see anything. Maybe 10 seconds later, you hear the grinding of stone as the pedestal rises. It twists, and as it twists, it opens up kind of an opening on 2 sides. And inside, you see a triangular shaped kind of D4 looking apparatus. Looks very familiar.
You'll just hear the Mary Allen sucking his breath. Oh, I need to stop doing that.
The light from this object is enough to cast a glow that you guys can see again.
Now we all know what happened the last time we tried to mess around with one of these things.
Not a whole lot more to do about it, though. I will reach out a hand towards it.
Do you touch it?
Yes.
Can I
Oh.
stop him from touching it?
Yes.
DM says no.
Oh.
You try to stop him. However, he's just got too much ambition. As you slap his hand away, moments after he touches the statue, it starts to blink and dance with lights, and a vision appears. Not a vision that you were expecting. A vision of presumably a once great Sith Lord. It looks about the room.
Who is about to take the challenge?
He looks right at you, Fi.
This one?
Don't laugh at someone who doesn't have anything to lose.
Do not presume to tell me what to do.
I mean, not for nothing, but you're dead.
Even the dead have great power in knowledge.
What's this challenge you need me to take?
He looks at you.
Peace is a lie.
It's definitely a lie to those who don't do anything to fight for it.
You know nothing. Begone.
Dot.
Damn.
Damn! As Fi failed, you guys all see, especially G, who has experience in this before. This is a gatekeeper. That was the first test. Fi failed.
Chief will step up and he'll say, I'll take on the challenge.
At least this one is stronger in the Force. Through passion.
You may make a lore check. Difficulty 2 and 1 red.
Can I assist him in this by leaning over and whispering?
Yeah, I'll allow a boost die. All right. So you know it's not something that you study deeply because it's just not looked highly upon. But he seems to be reciting some sort of mantra or code of the Sith. You may Google it. Or I could post it, either way.
Let's see.
Boom, posted.
Okay, then I'll recite it back. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength.
Very
Through
good.
strength-
As soon as you say that, very good.
Who's the great lord that stands before you?
Lord Frieden Nod.
Very good.
Starts to kind of size you up.
If you had an ally, useful in some regards, but in others hold you back. What is the correct way of dealing with them?
You would sever ties with the ally.
Okay, make me a resilience check. We're going to make it a difficulty 2, as it wasn't the worst answer, but 1 is obviously a red die. 1 purple, 1 red.
Okay, now and 1 to upgrade.
Oh, that despair. So you succeed. Let's see here. Let's do this. I'm going to offer the same check to the other 3 in the party. However, the difficulty is going to be 2 purple, 1 red resilience.
G succeeds, but Phi gets fucking blasted. Yep.
All right.
Samesies.
So 2 failures. Fez, for some reason, you're not affected by this, and it's obvious to G. However, Phi and Arden, you guys are suspended about 6 centimeters off the floor. You're not being choked, but think of that similar type position. You're being lifted up and in stasis. The figure looks at G.
It seems we now know who is advantageous and who is not. Show me what you do to those who do not further the cause.
G will take out his lightsaber.
Okay.
Okay, are we like suspended animation, or can we still do like facial thing?
You can, very minor facial things are appropriate.
Phi, sorry.
He's gonna turn around and look up at his 2 friends up in space. And he's gonna turn around and try and strike the pyramid.
Okay, nice. So for this, we're going to let you attack. Engaged is normally 2 difficulty. However, 1 is going to be increased to red.
For whatever it's worth, Fez is gonna light up that other lightsaber.
Okay. Oh, that despair. Oh, that despair. All right.
Oh no.
So here's what's going to happen.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Was I able to put the attachments for the lightsaber on or no? Was it just the crystal?
Let's do this. There you go. You put them on.
Okay, one of those attachments gives you 2 successes automatically on every action you make with it.
Oh, nice. So it is a success. However, we still have the despair. But very.
The despair, if you want, can be used to damage that lightsaber because of that same attachment.
Interesting. Player choice.
Yeah, let's do it. Break the lightsaber.
All right.
Well, damage it, not break.
Right. What is the HP on? Does it have hit points?
It just has 4 stages of disrepair.
Okay.
There's undamaged, like lightly, heavily, and then broken.
All right, let me do a roll here.
4 stages of disrespect. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
All right. It is still functional. We're going to put it at stage 3. It takes 3 levels of damage. And Fez, if you can help me out with the mechanics of that.
For every level of damage it's at, you add 1 difficulty dice to all actions made with it.
Oof. That's tough. However, you got rid of that despair, which means that this holocron is still going to be functional. As you strike the object, it turns off. Your friends kind of fall prone to the floor. A few moments later, they regain their ability to move and interact.
Or, you know, you could have just listened to him.
Yes, but that is not the way of the Jedi.
I mean, I had a pretty clever answer to give the guy too, but I have the feeling that being a evil Jedi and all, he probably wouldn't have liked it all that much.
Yeah, I'll give you points for sass.
The holocron starts to kind of tilt on its base there and is going to tumble to the floor. Underneath, you see the points of which your dagger can be inserted.
The holocron is still like you said it was still operable though, right?
Because of how the despair was spent, yes, absolutely.
Think we have a use for an ancient Sith Lord holocron?
I mean, I imagine G's friends back at the temple would be very interested in it.
That is very true, the Jedi Council would very much like to look into what information is stored here.
I'll pick it up and put it in his bag.
Okay.
You're gonna touch that thing again after what just happened 30 seconds ago?
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems to be dormant at the moment.
I'll put on my Hello Kitty oven mitts before I do it.
Ruining my immersion.
Alright, looks like there's another keyhole there.
All right, I imagine you guys pull out the dagger, slide it in, give it a twist. The pedestal rotates and comes up just a little bit more. Underneath, you find a small rectangular box, similar to the other storage containers of the wills. No apparition appears. However, it does seem like it is powered. Phi, discipline check. Difficulty 1 purple, 2 red.
Sure you don't want to burn a dark side point to just really fuck me up?
No. Oh, success. All right, so take this how you will.
Hold on, wait, sorry. You said 2 red, 1 purple.
Yeah. That's okay, it just takes out the advantage. So you still have that success. Inside your head, and in your head only, Very good. Bring them to me.
File kind of clear his throat. Alright, let's get that and head out of here, guys. As he kind of reaches over for it.
Again, can I try and like stop him from getting it beforehand?
Yeah, I don't see any reason. You and G both reach for the object at the same time.
Fi, stop touching things.
I'll let you guys roleplay this out.
Fido.
It's alright, G. I'm not gonna go mind fuck.
Not that I don't trust you, I just don't trust things popping up with you. Because that seems to be the trend.
Alright, if it makes you feel better to carry it.
And Arden sneak between them and take it while they're bitching.
Kick.
Yeah, why don't you make me a, I think, skullduggery? And stealth would be probably more appropriate. Difficulty 1, since they're distracted, and 1 boost die. As you two are kind of looking at each other, not in a very hostile way. G, of course, is being very, very cautious, and Fi is more kind of the gung-ho, you know, everything's all right. Arden comes up with the box.
Fortune favors the bold.
Fortune favors those who don't just stand around and bitch.
No, must
Now
not
let's
favor
not be
you
too
very
negative. There's a lot of negativity around us. No need to feed it.
often. Well, we got what we came here for.
Important out of character question. Has the door opened?
Oh,
As soon as Arden grabs the box, the door opens. Everything in the center resets. So good thing that you pocketed that holocron.
if we stick our heads out, are they gonna get chopped off by a Sith?
You hear nothing.
So probably yes.
Let's try and get back to the. Well, shit. We don't have a ship to get back to, but let's get out of here.
I mean, we could always steal something else. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yep, we're gonna have to do that, but one step at a time.
I don't necessarily trust our. God, I'm gonna forget the name now. Was it Spider?
SPDR?
Yes. I don't necessarily trust Spider to fly the Phoenix down to pick us up on its own.
No, let's not do that.
Gathering all intel to betray party.
Then wouldn't that be some shit?
We were secretly contracted with Darth Juxta the entire time.
Don't give the DM ideas.
Don't spoil his plot.
You know what really would have been amazing if I had thought of it earlier? If I had taken the programming core out of the battle droids and put it into Spider.
Oh, that would have been a good idea. Did you want to spend a force point?
I don't know if it's worth a force point, because just the programming alone wouldn't really do anything, but it would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, let's get out of here, guys.
All right, so you guys make your way out of the room. You look back, and it seems the way back is now blocked off. The only way to move forward is to go into the room where you had last heard that Jedi or the Sith fighting.
It's the same difference.
For some, yes.
You hear some very choice Mary Allen's cursing.
As you move closer into the room, there's not much here. To the right, it makes a 90-degree as where the next area leads out, if that makes sense. It is a square room. Your entry point is, think of like south, and your exit point would be to the east. It makes an L-type shape. In this room, towards the exit, you see a splatter. It looks like a crushed pile of bone, armor, and blood. There is one single placard in the center of the room. The way forward is not always straight.
Physic will turn his head sideways and look around the room.
Okay. As you kind of explore, make me a perception difficulty 3. No red.
I think we get 3 guesses, guys. That's my best idea.
You're not noticing anything out of the ordinary, aside from that obvious lump of crushed human?
I will go and check that out and see if there's like any kind of identifying features as to what it was, anything it had on it.
Yeah, as you get close, it's difficult to make out the absolutes, but it is very fresh, and you put 2 and 2 together.
And I'm assuming from what I can identify that it is not the Sith that we had encountered before.
You would think the opposite. You think that is him.
Ah. Is his lightsaber still on him?
Had it been functionally and not crushed, yes. Something very large smashed him to goo. Looks like he went through a trash compactor.
Which side of the room is he on?
He's about, maybe 3 meters from the exit.
But directionally, which way from the exit?
I don't know if I have a way to draw something. Give me 1 second.
MS painted in.
That's what
Just
I'm loading.
wondering. I'm wondering if he got blown back from the doorway.
Now, what concerns me is we definitely heard fighting, so this wasn't just some trap or something that he set off. There was definitely something in here with him.
Best drawing ever.
Okay.
And I'm assuming the south is the way we came in.
That is correct.
Nice.
So I know you can spend a light side point to introduce a fact to the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
When to introduce the fact that there's an escalator in the center of this room that takes us back to the surface.
Yeah, no.
That's going to be at least 2 light side points.
And it's full of Sith. All right, what would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna take out. I've carried these around for a long time. I have Scout 5 field goggle.
Okay.
Can I guess they're like magnification type thing. Can I look down the exit hallway and see if I see anything?
Sure. Make me a perception check. Do they offer any sort of mechanical benefit? If not, I'll educate.
Let me look it up real quick.
After our shopping trip, I do also have some goggles that they don't have a mechanical benefit, but in the description they do say they have low light vision.
Okay. Room's fairly well lit. Magnification might be better in this case.
It does also have quote unquote varying strengths of telescopic zoom.
Okay.
It doesn't say what they do.
All right. So if you guys both want to don your goggles, that's fine. Difficulty is going to be set at 1. Oh, sorry, perception. Fi is just having a hard time with these goggles as he's not as mechanically inclined. He's not dumb. Just, having him there, just really not taking the time to use them a whole lot. Where's the manual? Fezzik is like bzz, 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 zooming in and out. You guys see, let me update this map for you.
You can update maps on the fly? Man, MS Paint is amazing.
Yeah,
part of me now really wants to do try to figure out a way to do D&D using MS Paint on the fly.
All right. So, yeah, this is my admission into graphic design school. You see along the X path. You're hired. You can see that the stone ceiling, it looks like it will come down at you if you step anywhere near those X's.
So I almost killed myself going over to check out that body.
Give you the benefit of the doubt. I imagine you took the shortest route, which would have been safe.
Yeah, I can't see why I would have gone straight ahead first.
No, I got some movement left. I got to use it all.
Can we, those of us still standing by the doorway, can we like shimmy along the wall? Like follow the hand on the wall the whole way over?
Yeah, would you like to try?
If I would, at least. I don't want to speak for others.
Okay. Fi just starts scooting down the wall. I'm assuming Fezzik, you let everybody know.
Yeah, I would have relayed that.
Fi just starts scooting down along the wall, hits the corner, rounds the corner, starts creeping that way.
So far, not so squished. Oh no.
Yeah, Fez would not do that. He'd think it maybe, but he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, sure, bud. I implicitly trust you and regard you as one of my closest friends.
It's fine. Just stand right here.
I've figured the whole puzzle out. Trust me, this'll work out the best. Yeah, does it look like there's any of those scratch marks on the ceiling by the actual entrance, or
You're fairly confident that you did not see any others. That's updated with Fezzik. Or Fezzik with Virus.
I'm really letting myself go. I'm really thick.
Thick lad.
Nice.
Now, what'll really make you think is if that's the size of you as a person, and that red splotch is what was left of that Sith, he really got splattered.
Turned into
Oh, yeah.
baby food.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know, 100-ton weight just coming.
Oh no.
Campaign stopper. Is 24d10 a lot of damage?
Nah.
Really?
Never a good sign when the DM says, hang on a second, I need to get more dice.
Do you remember the frog I stepped on?
Oh. All right, so moving forward, you guys clear this way out. You find a staircase leading up and coming out around the backside of the tomb of Frieden Nad. You guys are now back in the courtyard of the Valley of the Sith Lords. I want to do one other thing before we stop for this evening. Obviously, you guys are wanting to get off the planet. You're left with a few options here. You can try to take your ship and do a daring escape. You could try to steal another ship and possibly escape that way. So steal a ship or try to reclaim your ship. What would you like to do?
Can I put forward a third option?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can we try and stow away as extra stormtroopers on a ship that's heading out?
Yes, but you can't guarantee your destination.
Yeah, that's the problem with that.
But it is an option.
We could do
Or
that.
we could just move here.
Set up a barbecue grill.
Yeah, you guys are fine. Just join the Sith Empire. It's fine.
I mean, hell, we've already got a Sith lightsaber. We've got a Sith holocron. We're like fitting right in.
I like the idea of stowing away and then taking over said ship, if that's possible, or we could just try and steal.
Yeah, we'll put that on the table. So let me present some options here, unless somebody's got something else.
My only worry is stealing one. They're probably going to be following us from like the second we leave. Versus if we take it over, once it's out, we won't be immediately captured.
That's true as well, yeah.
All right.
Now, the thing is, do we try to, if we are going to do the stowaway, do we try to stow away on like a freighter or a transport, or do we want to try to hijack a capital ship?
You would not be able to hijack a capital class ship.
Oh, come on. Never say never.
That's pretty pushing it.
I say the smallest ship we possibly can.
Like a shuttle or a freighter.
God, could you imagine the look on the Jedi's face after they turned us down to like take out some Imperial targets if we turned back up in a capital ship we captured?
You arrive at Coruscant and Phi looks over at Fez. Did you change the transponder code? Blam, blam, blam.
I knew there was something I forgot.
All right, so let's leave it at this. I'll let you guys decide. Let me post it in the thingy thing. Let's have a decision, let's say by Sunday. Does that work for everybody? By end of day Sunday?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, discuss amongst yourselves. We'll come up with a plan, and we'll go from there. Next session, depending on how it goes and time-wise, will probably either be the last session or we'll have one more after that. So it's been a wild ride. And again, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.